Hi guys, it's Evelyn from Twin Flames 3344. Boy, I received a lot of stuff today. So we'll see if I can get it all out there in a way that is coherent to you guys. I actually just finished, so I'm actually still in my PJs. And I'm just going to get to it. As far as symptoms today, I felt good. I had really high energy all morning. Obviously, I'm getting all these downloads, but I'm feeling a little headachy in my temples at the moment, which just actually came on. And my nose started to run a little bit this morning, but only like for 10 minutes, and then it just stopped. And I wanted to say too, yes, I think it was yesterday, I felt all of a sudden at some point during the day like I had a splinter in my right foot, but I didn't, it wasn't me. So I was just wondering if that could have been someone else, and or maybe somebody stepped on something, or my twin might have stepped on something that hurt them. That came up, and some other things too, if I recall them. But in the meantime, I'm just going to tell you the sand art real quick that I got, and then I'm going to go into the messages because there's a lot for the Divine Feminine message. For the sand art, I saw pearls, fish eggs, frog eggs, DNA chains. And this is multiple messages came up to clean things out today. So clean, and actually it was rainy this morning. I thought it was going to clear up, but it's not really. It's still kind of dark outside. So it's a great day to clean things out, get any debris out of the way. And also I saw a long chain of people climbing the mountain, okay? And the theme was new eggs are coming up to be hatched, okay? That was the sand art messages. So to start off from the beginning for the Divine Feminine, definitely went off onto a bit of a long tangent on this one today. Welcome to September. Okay, we are in the fall now, and everything gets going at this time of year, you notice. School starts, all that kind of thing. The day is the 1st, September 1st, and since it is the first day of the month, the 9, is all about endings, but it's also about universal compassion and selflessness. And as I usually say, I often see the number 9 as the nursing number, because it's about universal service. The number 1, of course, is the Magician, and the 9 is the Hermit. So we have the beginnings and the endings, which are the strongest numbers in numerology, because it's the end and the beginning. The Magician is all about manifesting, having the tools to make your dreams come true, make magic, right? And then the day adds up to the number 21, which brings all of this together. So you have a 9 and a 1, and then the 21, which is the culmination of the cycle. And it's the 21-3. 3 is of self-expression and coming together and socializing. And, just expressing yourself exactly the way you want to, being free to express. The 21 is the masculine energy, working through the feminine energy on the outside to become the third energy, the 3. Okay, so there's some very powerful numbers here today. I was also getting, again, to use, and what I was thinking of as far as electronic devices to use on your pain that I was getting the other day about using on your hips or whatever may be bothering you, it's the Soma pulse that I actually have. It's electromagnetic frequency. But you can use a TENS unit as well. Someone had brought up in the comments. I mean, just anything electrical. It wasn't specifying what kind of tool to use, and yet they just have very simple, $10 probes too that have electricity in them that you can use on certain spots. So that was coming up again today, specific to the left hip, actually, for the Divine Feminine. It was raining. It was very, wet and dreary this morning when I got up. All right, so I'm going to get right into the Divine Masculine. Hopefully it'll come back to me the way it came the first time, because it was coming, a lot of stuff was coming in. Okay, so at 9 o'clock is when I started doing the Divine Feminine read. And I was just, a lot of stuff was coming up about clearing. So clear you, clear your home, clear out your space. But it was really about getting clear. And also, as soon as I started shuffling the cards for the Divine Feminine, my throat started to constrict a little bit, which means there was some truth there. And so this is what a lot of the downloads came through, was it was Spirit telling me that until my throat clears, I'm not done what's coming through. Because this is all stuff that I need to express to you guys. So first, that came through was speakeasy again, which came through this week already. So it's not only about, you know, for me that New Orleans comes up when I think of speakeasy, but also Mardi Gras celebration would come up, but also just speak easy. Make things simple. Sorry, I have something in my eye. Make things simple, you know, speak easily, and don't use too many words, because that came up again as well. And this is when my nose started running, when my throat started to constrict, and they may have to do with each other. I was also getting right away, before I started the formal read, that the Divine Feminine's heart is outside themselves, which wasn't a negative thing. It was about allowing others into their heart. And also the numbers 4 and 5 came up as too much information. So if that relates to someone, let me know. But it also relates back to the words, not using too many words, because words get in the way. So you speak from your feelings and not from your thoughts. And karma clearing, I just got yes. So, okay. So for the Divine Feminine, the major arcana that came up were Ascension, which is the World card in this deck, the Starseed, the Sirian Starseed deck. So Ascension, Luna, which of course is the moon, Karma, which is the Judgment card, and then the Star. There was 1 sword, 2 cups, 3 pentacles, and 1 wand. The court cards that came up were the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups. So even if I mention other characters, it's because clarification cards came up, but in the main read it was about the Queen of Swords and the Page of Cups. Okay, which is all about the Divine Feminine's truth, and then the innocent inner child, okay? So the number that came up as the main code for the Divine Feminine today was the number 3, and 3 comes up a lot more today. And we already have it in the energy for the today, which is the World, 21-3. The number 77 also came up. And 77 in the Tarot is the 9 of Pentacles, which is that sovereignty, when you come into your complete space as a single person. Very comfortable in your surroundings just the way you want them. Okay, so in the codes today, intuition was the major topic, okay, the main topic of the codes. Using your intuition, and don't forget to stay connected. But then it was interesting. So clearing came up again in the codes to clear things out. But there was definitely a message about urgent emotions coming up. To clear, and I was getting to even clear, maybe some people need to clear their glasses out or cups out. Maybe if they have a lot of dust in them, there's some bad particles in there they need to clean out. But I was getting to clear, but even glasses or cups, okay? Could be eyeglasses as well. And I was getting that from the number 30 was coming up. And that's the 4 of Wands, which is about the home, right? And stability. So it's like clear out the cobwebs to clear out your intuition. But also was getting urgent emotions coming up. And really it was just all about that. Clear your home, to clear your emotions. So that your intuition is more clear. Obviously everything's about clear. And meditate, so meditate and clean was the summary I'd gotten from that. And toss. And realized I was coming back into my birthday's coming up, and I realized that my birthday, I was coming into my soul number year. So my soul number is 38, the Queen of Cups. And the year that I'm coming into in numerology is the 38 years. So I'm coming back to myself, to my true self. So for the Divine Feminine, you have the whole wide world in your hand. Got the whole world in his hand. So this is talking to you, because that song, it talks about his hand. You have, it may be in your right hand, but it's the Divine Feminine that has the whole wide world in their hand. You know, you've gotten yourself in shape physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. And after the injustice of rejection, Spirit's connecting with me, letting go of all wounds in order to find peace. So clearing the world prior to coming home to the Queen of Cups, which was interesting because I'm coming home to my Queen of Cups, waiting to be presented to the world. So this is your coming out party for the Divine Feminine. You are divorcing pain and coming into your truth. The truth is out. The left pillar, or the left hip, was being called on for attention, and that's why I was bringing up the Soma Pulse and other electronic TENS devices, things like that, to use on your left hip if it's bothering you. Also, I was seeing 2 fingers to the right hip, so maybe you just need a little massaging to the right hip to even the playing field I was getting. I was getting truth equals the number 1, and that's the point. That we're all one. That is the truth. And someone brought up too about being in their, sometimes they think they're the masculine in the dynamic, and you always are. It's a dance going back and forth. So your inner masculine and feminine are dancing back and forth, and as well as you and your twin. That's why you have to acclimate to your own energy of back and forth in doing this dance, so that when you come into union, you can do the dance easily with your twin without bouncing off of each other. So yes, you can definitely be the masculine person in the relationship. But usually the man in the relationship should be the dominant masculine energy. I'm not putting it past them being the feminine energy, but it's more likely for them to be masculine dominant, because obviously if you have 2 masculines, one's going to be in their feminine more often. But I was also getting in that information for the Divine Feminine to be in her masculine to attract. I was getting clean up disorganized home and mess, that it doesn't have to be perfect in order to bring in your lover. Lovers are messy. That was a message. And then I was getting, and Spirit's connecting with me, he is the fall, Divine Feminine is the spring. He looks down, the Divine Feminine looks up, and the angels look over both of us. And then I was seeing the angels having hair of leaves, which is paralleling the two, right? Because leaves recycle, they die and are reborn, same as hair, right? It's just, it dies to be reborn again. Hair is like leaves, it must die and regrow. And which was interesting, because I ended up cutting some a bunch of hair off last year because it was just really thinning out at the end, so I didn't want to cut it shorter, but I needed it to bring the health back to it. So there's a message there about the fall and the spring and your health. Allow things to naturally be reborn, okay, and to regrow. And then I got 6 on the one hand, a half a dozen of the other. All right, there's no use in splitting hairs. They're the same thing. It's all natural, so just allow the natural progression of things, just like the seasons and the change of seasons. There's a time to clean and a time to be messy, a time to rise and a time to fall. And here we are in the fall. The masculine is the fall, or the ego. Okay, and remember, there's masculine in both of us. So the card that came up for the Divine Feminine is about healing family issues. And right as I wrote that down, it started clearing up a little bit outside. So the Divine Feminine needs to bask in the sun, appreciate it when it's here. Reunion is out. The Fool, and then I was also getting the Fall, is free to fall as the King of Cups and the Queen of Cups vacation together. Okay, so this I was seeing as a union. Okay, because when the Divine Masculine becomes the Fool, he's opening his heart to take a leap of faith. Okay, so allow them to fall. Okay. So then I was getting, I got the card Spiritual Partnership for the Divine Feminine. And that was at 951, and 51 is the King of Swords. So the Queen of Swords had already come up for the Divine Feminine, so here was the King of Swords coming into the Spiritual Partnership. I was getting that the Hermit reversed is equal to the World reversed. They're both one. Just like the Six of Cups is equal to 3 on each side. Over isolation equals not being out in the world. Justice is blind. It does not see difference. It is indifferent and seeks to correct unhappiness. Spirit's connecting with me. It seeks to correct unhappiness or lack of emotional fulfillment, a need for something more, an opportunity to manifest growth. This is justice. The beggar already has Trinity aligned above his head because he is humbled. Spirit's connecting. Don't cut off your nose to spite your face. Don't cut off your head to spite your body. Use your knowing and your knowledge to lay down swords and crosses to bear. And that's about grounding as well. And then I had to go to the bathroom, so I went up and went to the bathroom. And as I'm looking down and washing my hands, I'm seeing one of my pieces on the sink. It has a little tag on it that has love on it. So as I'm staring right at love, and didn't realize I was staring at it until I was thinking this. So it was I was being called to go to the bathroom to bring up this truth, to understand what Spirit was getting at in this message. So what I was being called to do is speak my truth as Sophia, because Sophia is my oversoul. And this came in as I'm looking at love on my sink. That Evelyn is only a piece of my truth as Sophia. She is one expression of Sophia, the feminine aspect of God. I say this from a place of oneness and peace, not of elitism, but to acknowledge myself as a humble servant to my expansive self. In first loyalty to self, you are loyal to all, to the 9, to the 1. One for all and all for one. All for one and one for all, say the 3 Musketeers. So that was your message from the Trinity. And Spirit's connecting with me. For every action, as a reminder, there is an equal and opposite reaction. Pi comes from the first letter of the Greek alphabet, parametros, which is circumference. The symbol is the 16th letter, but it comes from the first letter of the Greek alphabet. And so you have parametros, which is basically parameter, or boundary, or circle. So then I'm writing down pi, the symbol for pi, and the symbol of the circle. And for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. So if you take a circle and you write a dot on either side where pi is created from, right, because you have to draw the line of the diameter of the circle and the circle, which is pi, right, the ratio of the diameter to the circumference of the circle. So here I have the circle with the two dots of the equal and opposite reactions, right, the masculine and the feminine, equals pi. The diameter being the equal and opposite reaction. And then I was getting the circle of friends is a boundary, okay, to make it clearer about the fact that the circle is the boundary. And even if I show you that the circle is my symbol, or 0 is the symbol for God or source energy, it's because only in the human body do we have this boundary of a circle. When we're free from the human body, there's no need for the circle, okay? So the diameter of the circle is equal and opposite reaction. If there is no boundary, there is no equal and opposite reaction. There just is. Is I, Sophia. Okay? And that was not my thoughts. This is the message coming through me. Which I thought that was pretty cool at the end. So she was culminating this in everything just is. I, Sophia. Okay? I, Sophia, we have just come full circle to the Divine Feminine. This is her message to you. And then I got to the left again. And I'm seeing pi next to pi. So the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine on both sides for both of you. Coming together in like a house, like an Oriental house with the pointy roof, with the two supports. And you often see that as the Four of Wands. The two wands on each side is like pi and pi coming together, the bridge, okay, the 40 bridge. And then I was getting to the left because you'll see pi sometimes with the little curly Q, but it appears on the right, but you're actually facing it. So that's to the left, to the left, to the left. And then I was getting infinity. In order to ground infinity, one must stay at 0 point. Okay? Because the circle is a boundary, because we need a boundary as a human. Our human body is a boundary. So then I wrote down, I was called to write down pi, which is a transcendental number, okay? And I was just seeing dental too, so I'm being called to remind someone about their teeth. They may need to have their teeth formally cleaned out, because that was coming up again too in the sand today. So I wrote down pi, and you can't write down pi because it's like infinity to infinity. But I wrote down I figured I was going from 3.1. One was being accentuated here, so I'm going to write down all the numbers that get to the next one. So I did. And then I counted. That was 37 places out, which is the King of Cups. Unconditional love. Okay? And then I was counting how many numbers was it from each 1 to 1. And so for the first sets of ones, the first one was out, it was 37 digits to the first one, and then 68 to the second one, and then to the next one were 94 and 95 because they're right next to each other, and then out to 138, and 38 is the Queen of Cups. So, and 68 comes out as a very specific number in a lot of different situations, even like the 68-second rule in the morning about conditioning your perspective for the day. You know, to be really positive for 68 seconds will then allow you to take that energy forward for the whole day. So then I was guided to write down pi squared, which means to jumble or to mix up. So how perfect, right? So if you take pi yourself and square it, put a square around pi, literally, that's a block from the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine to reach their higher self. Pi squared. To jumble or mix up, confusion, block. And also when I wrote down confused, I was getting Confucius say. So maybe you should go read some Confucius sayings. Okay, so this is also Confucius confirming this, okay? So pi is your inner balance, okay? And pi squared is a block to your balance. Because you see, pi squared will never reach 9.9. It will never reach 9.87. It will never reach the next cycle of 10, because 1 through 9 is the base cycle, and 10, 11, 12 are like the higher octaves in numerology. So it blocks you from reaching your higher octave, and Spirit's connecting with me. So you have the circle. And by the way, the Greek pi, P-E-I, is of Phoenician origin. And it's said to see P in the Semitic roots. Okay. So anyway, I'm guided to write, draw down a circle. Circle equals boundary, which equals the body, and then the diameter of the circle for the body is the Merkaba, the measure. So now you have the circle with the line through it. The body divided by the Merkaba into the masculine and feminine. As above, so below. As within, so without. Both only applying to our illusionary existence here on earth. Because there is only one, no zero. Okay? Then I was guided to, and I'm going to show you the picture of this, and the Spirit's still connecting with me. As I was looking at the cards for the Divine Feminine today, sometimes the way I arrange them, because I'll arrange like the bottom 3 cards, and today I saw 2 images. One was of what I saw as a fly. The shape of the cards looked like a fly to me. But then when I drew it, it looked like the space shuttle. So I'm going to show that to you. There's something important about it. So these were my images that I got. The other one had to do with, okay, I guess I can make this way. This way. Sorry about that. Okay, so those are the 2 images I got. The space shuttle that looked like a fly. So it was relating the natural fly to the space shuttle. How man mimics nature. And then the other image was actually just a drawing of the shape of the cards. And I wasn't getting a button push, but it's literally a drawing of a button push. And I have this exact button on my stove, because it's an older exhaust fan. So it's a push button. It's about pushing the button. It's also a sideways platform, and that's come up a lot recently, especially for the Divine Masculine, about them stepping down off of a platform. But also about cleaning out blocks. And there's a portal here, but it's a block portal. It's about clearing out the blocks. All right. So then when it came out to, because there is only one, there is no zero. But because we're human, there will always be 1 and 0. But 1 and 0 are the important numbers. It's the going back and forth, right? The instigation and the balancing. The instigation, the balancing, right? The trigger, the balance, the trigger, the balance. Just going back and forth, like, that's the vibration. That's the frequency. Okay? So it's showing you we're just energy. So then I got, as another message from the codes, that there's a Sagittarius. There's a Sagittarius at 3 in a boundary of fire that urgently needs realignment of their emotions. So I was also getting this as sage and clear, which again was bringing up the clearing the body in the house. But it was really about staying at 0 point and knowing the power of your third energy, because you will be confronted with fire energy, right? Very passionate energy. It's saying you're going to need urgent realignment of emotions. So to stay present. Recently, for the Queen of Swords, for the Divine Feminine, she is over loss, she is detached, she is patient, she is holding back passion and hearing the call to action with equal and opposite reaction. The body confines the aura. And as I wrote that, I felt a release, an energetic release from my body. But I was being guided. There's still more to say as far as this line of thinking, okay, or this line of idea. So the Queen of Swords needs to pull this switch or lever in order to play with the energy out in the world. So the Divine Feminine is being called out of her heart to the world. So instead of having someone come into her heart, she's expanding her heart out to others, or extending her heart out to others, in order to play with energy so she can expand further. So now she's become stable within herself. It's time for her to go out and expand with others. Whatever light comes in must go out to maintain balance. And then I got a download came in just when I saw the switch happens. The floor drops out beneath the Queen of Swords' feet. Okay, so literally the floor fell. The foundation was about as the layers peel back and the ripples flow outward, new worlds appear, after having needed the courage to come back into the fold and dance after having been separated from Source. So this is done for the Divine Feminine. This is what she has learned. Having the courage to know that you're never out in the cold, because as long as you're connected to Source, there is no detachment. Okay, so when you feel out in the cold, it's because you're not connecting to your higher self. At the heart is the eclipse of the moon. And then I got guided a line from my Sophia song, evergreen but never seen. Right, so you see the moon, which is a reflection of light. It's not actually light, but it's been representative of the Divine Feminine, who's evergreen in her heart but never seen. Okay, because the Divine Feminine's always been seen as the moon, not the sun. The moon is being replaced by the central sun. After being excited but clinging to defending their stance or their boundary, but needing to learn more about energy, the central sun. For the Divine Feminine, look to the central sun for your energy source, as opposed to the lunar cycles. This is your purity, your inner child. The moon is just reflective or distorted light. The challenge is pi, because twin flames, and you're going to write down the symbol of this, is pi expanded. Okay? Because pi is two lines with a line on top. And twin flames, the way I write it in the morning, is two lines with a line on top, and then just a little line in the middle for the F extending out. It's expansion. So twin flames equals pi expanded. The King of Swords reversed has been trapped by negative self-talk and limiting thoughts about twin flames. He does not think he can keep up with the Divine Feminine in moving forward in a practical way, with an offer for a happy family and independence. But now, as the central sun cracks hearts wide open, divine intervention to end pain, and you may even see a deer today, of the Divine Masculine not using his intuition, losing money and power, but also losing his ego at the same time, in order to manifest new passionate beginning for the twins. While the heart cracks open, stay present in your knowing, store your energy reserves, and tackle the beast as sexual energy in the rainbow bridge creates sovereignty and passion quickly moving into peace. Soon in the Batcave, which is the Divine Masculine's heart, the King of Pentacles receives messages of truth about jealousy and sadness, the story of him and his Divine Feminine, sitting back to back but reversed. Once upright, they sit face to face. And Spirit's still connecting with me. Okay. So we're going from the wounds and burdens into love. The King of Pentacles is now stable and warm within his own heart, okay, which he was disconnected before. The Divine Feminine is Trinity, so now I'm getting codes again. Tri, Ni, T. And so for me, Ni was obvious because Ni just came up. That was the rogue lion. And Tri is Trinity, or the triangle. But there was also information I wanted to get from that. So I have a triangle. Then I have the rogue lion, who is pi squared. And then I got T, which is the T support, which is not good support. It's insufficient because you want the triangle support. So I was looking more into this. The reason the Ni, N-I, is the rogue lion from the Lion King. And it's pi because the humans, the twin flame's heart is the lion, the heart of the lion, which is pi. Your integrating of your masculine and feminine into balance is pi. But since Ni is a rogue lion, he's got blocks, which is pi with a square around it. Okay? And as you draw the square around it, I'm going to show you what happens. All right, so this is pi, right? Okay, so pi is the circle and the diameter. Okay, the circumference and the diameter. And then as you square that, pi squared, look what it creates. Okay, so in the middle is the pineal gland. It's the eye within pi. And if you draw a square from pi, which is the circle with the line through the middle, and you draw the squares out from the line, which is the Merkaba energy chain, this is what you get. And what does that look like to you? To me, I mean, it's number one, it's a human head with a block around it. It's a literal block with your energy running through it. In order to expand pi to twin flames, you need to go outside yourself. All right? And it's also looking like a television, that we discovered television to help us learn how to do this. Okay? That we could do something that we couldn't see. We could connect in a universal way. So with pi, you have the circle and the line, but the line doesn't go outside the circle. When you expand into twin flame, into the third energy, that's when the Merkaba leaves the circle, okay? You're breaking through the veil. This block is the confusion and the expansion that you feel. And also notice that pi is short for pineal gland. Okay, so and if you see the symbols, if I write down Trinity in the codes that I was getting, it's triangle, pi with a square around it, blocked, and then the T. Okay, so it's change, blocked, without proper support. So it's the person going through change and then blocked because they don't have proper support. And also then I was seeing the I in Trinity as the circuit. But the circuit, because they're small eyes with a dot, it's representative of quanta. Because in order to make the leap from the line to the dot, there's no measure. So it's showing you within the circuit of Jesus, you need to use quantum physics to connect, okay? And Spirit's connecting with me. That's the circuit. But then we have TR, I is the circuit, and then TY. So coming together is your masculine and feminine with source to release stagnancy, daydreaming, and to realize your dreams and let go of dysfunctional family limitations and drains. Quanta must be involved in order to connect this circuit. The TR translates, literally means translate, okay? So translate or trace in math. It also is a token ring and a network. TR can also be Teddy Roosevelt, if that means something to someone, and also tax return. So, and that's just It's showing you the circuit, the cycle, okay? But it's like saying, translate this circuit into gratitude. TY, thank you. And also what came up for TR is Tootsie Roll Industries, which that was at 1207. If you're interested, it was $28.80. And it has 2,200 employees. Tootsie Roll. And then TR is also trill in music. The 1010, the vibration. How perfect is that? It also means TR, a season, a time. It also means really? And it also means respect and worship, which is thank you, gratitude. It also means foot and feet, which is all about the base, how important your feet are because they're connected with everything in your body. Then the TY, when I looked it up, came up, there's a TY toy company. And both these companies, Tootsie Roll and this TY company, are in Chicago. So that needed to be brought up. And TY is also Tasmanian tiger, which also comes up because in the Sirian Starseed deck, the strength card is not a lion, it is a tiger. So for me, that's also Sagittarius energy, which came up. So TY is also transition year. So this is a transition year. The TY suffix has its Latin origin in denoting quality or state. Okay, so the quality of the circuit and the gratitude. And it gives an example as unity. Okay. Also comes up as TR as or TY as multiples of 10. So it meant 10, but also denoted multiples of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. But also stated that it originally went up to 120. So it wasn't just 90, like 80, 90. It went to like 11D and 12D, were like 110 and 120, which was very interesting because that would make sense with the 12 cycle. The cards that came up for the Divine Feminine are Trust, Flirt, and Stay Optimistic. And I wrote it as Stay Opti, so I-based. Around the Divine Feminine is that E-Tower, the Divine Feminine's heart. She's extending her heart out from herself to give to others. Allowing others in, which was interesting because one of my daughter's friends, there's a couple of them, came by to visit me last night, which was a wonderful visit. So now the Divine Feminine is allowing others in after the King of Wands reversed, who was unhappy, by the way, after he ran away. So he is seeing this. And then I was seeing in a drawing the E-Tower and the Bat Cave, because that's the Divine Masculine's heart and the Divine Feminine's heart, as one full tower. But the Bat Cave is underground, the Divine Masculine's heart, and the E-Tower is the bigger piece above ground, out in the open at the moment. So the Divine Feminine above ground expanding, while the Divine Masculine was in the dungeon dealing with the dark energies. Clear blocks for the Divine Feminine of being seen, of stardom, of light, of dreams and healing, of Egypt and music. These are the blocks that the Divine Feminine needs to clear any issues she has with. That the Divine Feminine's abilities cause her pain cycles. But it doesn't. It causes release in pain and stress. And the cards that came up for the numerology deck were intuition, and then more importantly, moderation, so 0 point, and forgiveness and compassion. But forgiveness was the card. So the Divine Feminine is supported by the truth as the Divine Masculine follows closely behind, fantasizing a family legacy. Scene 1. Lovers find peace in new life, climbing steps together, 2 by 2, to the third flame. Keeping words to a minimum to patch up and let go, not cover up. Going back to the past is foolish. Spirit's still connecting with me. The Empress is fueled by loss of hope, but choosing a path leads to a new life and contentment, complete contentment. Spirit's connecting. Ascension and closure of karma opens the lotus, the crown, to co-creation. And the E-Tower and the power of the truth in hand. The moon disappears and twins appear. Batcave, healing dreams, with heart cracked wide open, towards steps to take towards their combined third energy, which was really beautiful. Okay, so that was for the Divine Feminine. And also, I guess I'm being called to bring up the jacaranda tree, because most of us aren't familiar with the jacaranda tree because they're native to Africa, but they're beautiful purple trees. And I've been trying to grow them, and they die in the winter because they're not meant for cold weather. But if you can get one with a strong trunk, you can probably get it to survive. It'll survive as an older tree. It's just very hard to grow here. So I'm still trying, and there's a tree growing in my garden right now that actually is pretty big, but it doesn't have much of a trunk yet. But I was talking to my tree when I was out this morning grounding. But if you don't know what a jacaranda tree is, look it up online to see the beauty in it. There's something special about it. There may even be healing qualities about the jacaranda tree that needs to be brought up. Okay. And as I cut the cards for the Divine Masculine, the two butterflies, or the two white moths, flew past the window. So that was a really nice message. So for the Divine Masculine, it was at 101. The major arcana were the Strength and the Shadow cards. There's 3 cups, 4 swords, 1 pentacle, 1 wand for the Divine Masculine. And the court cards were Knight of Cups, Knight of Swords, and King of Swords. Okay? So there's no feminines in the main read. There's feminines that come up in the clarifiers, but the main read is the King of Swords with 2 knights, the Knight of Cups and the Knight of Swords. There were no numbers in the codes for the Divine Masculine today, only the number 44 that came up in the numbers in the cards. And the main topic of the codes for the Divine Masculine was love, simply stated, just love. The coding for the Divine Masculine was all about really difficult emotions that will be coming out. It was like it was saying that a mother may be good support to go right now because Swine of Passion was coming up, which is a Lady Gaga song, and it's all about rage and fury of passion and a lot of pain to release. So the karmic may be going through this, or it could be a Divine Masculine's mother as well. But I was really getting more of that the mother would be good aid, supportive practically and financially for the Divine Masculine to go to, or even the Divine Feminine as a mother. Okay, but and this rage of emotions doesn't have to be the karmic partner. It could be any karmic in the Divine Masculine's life, and it can be the Divine Feminine depending on your situation and where you are in your cycle. But it was all about like a lot of fire, passion coming out, a lot of rage. So this is the call to the Divine Feminine from your read to be prepared and be in your 0 point, okay? Because you will have urgent need for transmutation. And this is not to trigger you into fear. There's no reason for you to fear. This is why you're being called to go out and deal with the world now, because you have the power. So, and I was getting as the one who has the rage and fury is someone with many cups. So you can take that whichever way it resonates with you, that's the way it's meant to take. The mother is helpful, but that one with many cups has rage and fury to release in regards to love. Emotions take over as the Emperor hides tears of imbalance, led to an awakening now and ready to defend the truth. The King of Cups and inner child are fully exposed. So there's a couple different scenarios that came up right here. The King of Cups and their inner child, as the Page of Cups, came up fully exposed in love, with a High Priestess or secret betrayal. This also could be a father and child in the clear, because now they're ending pain or releasing the emotions to end the pain. But it also could be a secret love child betrayal exposed, or love affair with a minor exposed. Okay, so the Divine Masculine is in a lot of pain, and I was seeing it physically on the right side from the right hip and groin to the liver, and then as well toward the left, the chest, and then left shoulder. So pain's coming up for the Divine Masculine. Wounds, the Divine Masculine wounds are out for all to see. And healing, they got healing family issues as well. The Divine Feminine, same. And some of the other cards that came out for the Divine Masculine were the same as the Divine Feminine. Alright, so something that's being shown in some of the situations was at the full moon that while he was with his karmic in a sexual way, he was also being with his Divine Feminine, and this came out in this moment. For some reason, I'm getting that the karmic realized what was happening in this moment around the full moon, and I was getting specifically August 27th. Literally the numbers were on the cards, 27. So around the full moon, when he was with his karmic in an intimate way, he was also thinking of his Divine Feminine while he was with her, and this came out, okay? The card that came up for the Divine Masculine was effort. That was the underlying energy with the card of love that also came out. That the Divine Masculine needs to make an effort in love. Injustice came up for the Divine Masculine, that the worst is over. The worst of it is over as the pain resolves, as the Divine Masculine learns to set himself free after a really good emotional purge. He got closure in a bold move, exposing insecurities about the Queen of Swords reversed, or someone who's not talking to him, or the realization of how nasty a female someone actually is in separation. Her true colors exposed, causing him to bleed out. Okay? So someone's being exposed for their true self, their truth. Someone who's always been pretending to be someone else they're not. So recently, lightning strikes the Divine Masculine during a separation, not expressing an instability of work. He hasn't been expressing the instability of his work to his family and his destiny, as a ton of emotions is released and free him. In the foundation, 5D messages are sent after getting it together at work to move forward. So after the Divine Masculine was getting himself back together, then he started sending 5D messages back to the Divine Feminine. And at the heart of it is the Divine Masculine's heart. Okay? So he's opening his heart. Coming together in joy and self-love, releasing money and need for independence, but sad to let things go because he's losing power. He's challenged by self-love and new love, excited and inspired by epiphanies. He was clinging to pretending to not see as a defense to others, to keep them away or to keep them at bay at work as the clock ticks. And then I literally got 9:07, if that means anything to anyone. But I was also getting that was like the bewitching hour of the karmic. Like don't bother me after 9 p.m. X-ray vision, northeast, as his guides instruct him line by line. Excalibur marks the spot, 3 lines down and a question mark, with a pinch and a squeeze and a tropical breeze. Bloody Marys. Gotcha. Okay? So there's a message. Take it as you receive it. I also was receiving that a specific Aquarius, and this isn't necessarily going to apply to everyone, but I was getting a specific karmic who is an Aquarian, turns and needs assistance after 9 p.m. because I guess they're really grouchy. Okay? So now the Divine Masculine is meditating. He's thinking long about lines getting crossed between him and his Divine Feminine. He's being patient step by step after a final judgment in the injustice system of heartbreak, but also by announcement of his freedom. Learning faith in his abilities with divine assistance, comfort is by his Divine Feminine above, and getting his wish and satisfaction in a surprise attack and getting caught with his pants down. So this might have been a blessing in disguise for him. But it caused him to be seen as a narcissist, you know, the guy who assumes he deserves to have his cake and eat it too. Soon the emperor has a breakthrough and becomes the eye of the tiger, staring down at his divine feminine. He is well connected after he released the devil and got real. And the cards that he gets is let your friends help. He also got flirt and stay optimistic, which the divine feminine also got. Stay opti. Use your vision. Around him, the King of Swords holds Excalibur across his lap. After Messenger of Truth came to the King of Pentacles quickly about his dysfunctional family jealousy. He needs to clear blocks of union, of innocent love, as these things being seen as weakness. He also needs to clear begging to return and feeling trapped or hog-tied. Okay, because he might have experienced that with the other women in his life. And then that's when the love card comes up. He needs to make an effort to love. The Emperor thinks about burning the past for a new passionate beginning. The King of Cups reversed and the King of Wands reversed both are very unhappy with wounded warrior's narcissistic behavior, while the King of Swords also reversed in negative self-talk or not in his truth about his knowing with the family. The top three anyway. And top dogs came up before. Yeah. Queen of Wands is coming up as the top dog that he didn't let know. Amidst a difficult childhood, the Queen of Wands was coming up as amidst a difficult past herself, and then also just lying around resting all the time. But there's some kind of lying happening with this Queen of Wands. She was coming up with the Seven of Swords, which is lying, cheating, or stealing, or just running away from manipulative player ways, looking back. Okay? The Knight of Cups, in summary, is very emotional. There's a huge purge coming up for the Divine Masculine about 5D messages that he may have seen in the past as the devil in logical defense mode until lightning struck his heart. So he might have actually had shock treatment or some other literal treatment to his heart. So his bat cave, he had lightning struck his heart, his bat cave, with new love. His eye on the prize of union and meditating to clear wounds and create family happiness. Okay, so this is a big deal. I'm going to pull you some the oracle cards as well. We're at 5757 just now. 57 is the Three of Swords. It's all about that separation. 5757 is what, 114, which is 6. Love. Okay. So, for the Divine Masculine and Divine Feminine, the Organic Twin Flames, and before I pull these cards, I'm just going to, real quickly, take a deep breath. Let's clear all obstacles to harmonious, permanent physical union with all organic twins, organic true twins and their beloveds across all dimensions of time, space, matter, and realities, for the highest good of all those concerned. And so it is. Thank you. So for the Organic Divine Masculine, Divine Feminine Twin Flames, we have Kuan Yin. We had that, was that yesterday? Archangel Metatron's cloak has been coming up all week. It's 51. It's the King of Swords, okay? And she came up in his reading today. I stand in my power to lead others forward. This is the Divine Masculine coming forward. The card that came out is Kuan Yin because it's still about childhood wounding. 43 is the number for Kuan Yin. Okay. Kuan Yin is the master of the 12th ray of unconditional love, which came up in the 12 cycles. She radiates a vibrant cerise pink light of divine feminine energy, love, and compassion. Kuan Yin is re-empowering women everywhere and bringing forward feminine wisdom in men. She is inviting you to develop your feminine qualities, including your healing abilities. Find ways to nurture and empower others and yourself. Give yourself permission to go with the flow and share with everyone for the highest good. This will subtly affect your stellar gateway chakra and build the Entacaron bridge to source. Okay, the affirmation is, I act from my divine feminine wisdom. Okay, so you're in the bridge, you know, 3D goes away, there's no more gatekeeper for the divine masculine, he is in the bridge. So for the past life deck, for the organic divine masculine, divine feminine twin flames. Organic divine masculine, feminine twin flames. Clear. What is the advice for the organic divine masculine, divine feminine twin flames? What is the advice? Okay, this came flipped right out. Celtic, and the arts. And the trees is at the bottom, so nature. It's very important to get out and ground. And I was just taking pictures of my my jacaranda tree this morning. Your trees hold you up. Okay, so Celtic, however you pronounce it. Okay, that's the first card out. And you notice the circles there. And then we have the arts. Okay, so guitar, strings, piano, keys. And octaves, right? Look, you have the circle in this card too, with the lines going through it. And also the equal and opposite. So you have the black and white notes, 3s and 2s, because you see if you put it this way, what do you have up there? You have 11 and 111 and 1. You like that? I just got closing the deal. How the strings loop into the loops at the end of the guitar. We're bringing up a clasp. And I just got closing the deal, and I just got Sex in the City when Big said that to Carrie when he proposed to her. Okay, so definitely be some people getting proposals. And in this you'll see, so the Jesus inside the cross, he's not touching any of the sides of the cross. Where the nails would normally be are symbolized by the circles, the 4 circles, but that's not where his hands are. He's free, he's floating freely within the pineal gland. And it's also showing you the energy tubes of your connections to your higher self. So the one that goes through like above and just in front of the ear, there's one energy tube that goes this way, one from the crown down, and then the third one goes from the unicorn and out the back of the head, and you know, the third eye straight out. And in this picture also, which I always find kind of funny, whether it's Jesus or not depicted in this cross, it looks like a Neanderthal in a way, because the legs are much shorter than the rest of the body, and the head is kind of from afar. I can't see it close up, but it gives that impression of very short legs. So the legs becoming less important, but all the more reason to keep them strong. Okay, because they may naturally kind of wither away because they're not needed anymore. So it's more important to do exercise for your legs. And you see also that in this picture the cross blocks the door. Okay, it's a block to the portal. It's showing religion and structure is a boundary. You know, it doesn't allow you to expand. Okay? And then the arts. You know, music is very important. You know, sound and symbols are higher in frequency than light. Okay, so let's go to the journey of love. Actually, I'm going to take that back, 'cause I'm not positive about the frequency, but where there is no light, there are sound and symbols. Okay, so for the organic divine masculine, divine feminine. Organic divine masculine, divine feminine. Okay, the void is at the bottom of the deck, so continue to come to 0 point. The void. Center of the vortex. Okay, and the vortex is the center of the purge cycles, all right? So in the beginning, where they were long purging cycles, they get shorter and shorter and shorter until all of a sudden you're just dropped into 0 point. Okay. So the cards that came out are 3 to 1, which is 10. Okay. And number 29, which is Spiral Dance of the Goddess. Okay, and I'm going to read them for you. I'm going to read Spiral Dance first. It opened right up to this. Okay, so the Spiral Dance of the Goddess. From a point of light unfolding, we become a soul, then incarnate into a sacred body, and our lives become a work of divine art, a speck of heavenly presence manifesting itself through dimensions of time and space and into a life on earth made manifest. The extraordinary fact of your existence is a divine happening. As though the light of the moon is dancing not only upon the water, but inside of it. Your ancient light is dipping into the mud of the earth, which is interesting because I just got the image of the tower of the masculine's heart underneath the water and the feminine's heart above the water. Okay, so as though the light of the moon is dancing not only upon the water, but inside of it, so reflecting both the masculine and the feminine, your ancient light is dipping into the mud of the earth. This is how the soul becomes a divine human in the making. As you sense yourself moving and shifting from light to dark and back again, from knowing to unknowing, you are weaving your consciousness, your divinity, into sacred expression, manifesting your soul essence into form of your life. Threading the light through the darkness without even realizing you are doing it, you are gently impregnating the matter of your body, of your life, with light. Your body and your life become luminous, radiant, and you assist others, even just through your presence. It sounds wonderful, and it is. Yet it is not always an easy path. As the light travails through darkness, pain and suffering can arise in waves. Best to be present to it. Trust that it is not a permanent condition, and wait for the spiral to twist from dark to light again, always moving closer and closer to the purity of the center and expanding outward eternally, as though you're being inhaled by the divine, filling cosmic lungs as they reach far and wide, taking in all of life. And Spirit's connecting with me. The message of this oracle to you is that you are growing. You are bringing more of your light into form. You may be meeting obstacles in your life and in the world, but this is because you are bringing through the light. If there were nothing happening, there would be no obstacle. Bless them as signs that you are proceeding and empower them no more. You shall be all else just divine timing. All else is, which came up, all else is just divine timing. The inner movement in expressive flow, an outward breath of dance and light, becoming one, becoming free. Okay? And then 3 to 1 is number 10. And 3 to 1 reads, there is a heavenly child in your midst. It may be within your heart, in your womb, or a glimmer in your eyes soon to be. This child holds the key to the fulfillment of a process that is happening for you now. The child might be a physical culmination of your marriage or commitment to another. It might be symbolic birthing of a new self after a time of learning to bring male energies of protection and discernment together with female energies of feeling and creativity, whether within yourself or in your relationship with another. The child might symbolically be a new life as an improved relationship, a book, a new job, a completely renewed way of dealing with what was once a challenging issue, and so soon it will not be an issue for you anymore. Just to name some examples. From masculine to feminine to child, there is now just one, a new reality dawning with grace. This oracle holds a message for you. New life is upon you now. You're being reborn, and you'll give birth to what is meant for you in this lifetime. There's no need to worry. Just pray with an open heart, and you may be supported to fulfill your destiny. That you may be supported to fulfill your destiny. You already are, of course, but prayer can help you realize it. The rest is in the loving and capable hands of the divine. And the poem reads, love is what makes the heart beat faster, the lump in my throat, the feeling of missing you so much, and I can't wait to be with you again. And then we are, and I look into your eyes deeper, and I know the unspoken words that say I love you, spirits connecting, and feel words in return. How short each lifetime seems, but what I feel with you lasts forever. May love be the compass that guides you on the course of a lifetime. And Spirit's still connecting with me. Okay? So some really beautiful messages today. Please comment below. Thank you so much for all your likes, shares, subscribes, and your comments. Please contact me if you need a session. And in the meantime, make sure you drink plenty of water. Ground, ground, ground. Meditate, meditate, meditate. That's all I got to say to you right now. Okay? And rise and be loved.